Today I want to talk a bit about the priority as far as what you should be spending your gold on. As you play through each level, you earn a bunch of gold, with higher levels rewarding significantly more than lower levels. At level 246, I am earning a lot more gold than I was even like 50 levels ago, but all the upgrades do scale significantly in cost as well, and so they cost a lot more gold, so you definitely need that gold. You do earn gold whether you win or lose the level, but nothing if you quit early. So if your goal is to just try and farm some gold, even if it's through replaying stages or even failing one of your higher attempted stages multiple times, make sure you are playing all the way through the level just so you actually get that gold reward. And now this is my personal preference, but after every level, I also do watch an ad to double my gold earnings. This is very helpful because even with doubled gold earnings, I still find ways to spend all this gold without any issues later in the game. My units right now are pretty underleveled. I have a lot of levels I could be adding to them, but even then I'd run out of gold very quickly. Now, if I went and replayed stages for a little, I could probably catch up a bit, but I'm at the point right now where I'm just constantly low on gold and I can't upgrade everything based on the current level I'm at. That's going to be the story pretty consistently just later in the game. So you are going to have to make sure you prioritize your gold. So the things you're going to be spending your gold on is stuff like the skill tree, and then primarily like your units, your different units, and then the skill tree. They're going to have upgrade caps depending on what level you're on. Every level you complete, you get an additional level you can add onto that skill tree, as well as the different unit levels. So as far as the priority for spending this gold, because it is a limited resource and you'll likely end up short on gold just regardless unless you do play levels quite frequently, my top priority for spending gold was on the village. So upgrading the village and maxing it out for me is really wasn't that hard, just because it was as far as the maximum levels at this point. If you progress at all far in the game, you're going to get plenty of gold to max out as far as this village can go. The village is one of the best things to upgrade early on in the game, because the village is essentially this idle farm that will provide some gold, not a ton, but a little, as well as the big important rewards, gems, equipment, and hero upgrade material. And these gems are really nice because you can also use them to go buy legendary chests, as I mentioned in my gem video, which can help you get even more hero and equipment upgrade material, which that hero and gear later in the game does become very strong and can help really just carry you through a lot of stages. So definitely this is one of the things I would recommend upgrading. You can go and claim it. Every 8 hours is the maximum, but really every hour or so, on that hour mark, you get a lot of this generation as far as the different upgrade materials, and then gems and gold as well. The gold just really isn't that big, especially just later in the game. You get a lot of gold, and so an extra 30,000 gold really isn't that much. If you are having a hard time progressing through stages, though, I do think it's okay early on to funnel a bit of gold into these next couple things at the same time, just to help you get rolling and farm gold a bit easier, but definitely do make sure you prioritize the village. The next thing I would recommend using your gold towards is upgrading your skill tree. You're basically going to want to make sure this is always maxed out. I go and make sure I max this out every level before I go and contribute any gold towards like upgrading my units. Just because the skill tree provides a bunch of different benefits. So stats like this last one upgraded the hero and gear stat bonuses. We have a unit health increase, a gold production increase just from playing through levels, a building health increase, a unit damage increase, an XP multiplier, so the experience that you just gain in battle, that also gets multiplied. So just really a lot of cool, just helpful bonuses. This is really just great because it provides a lot of broad bonuses that boost your power during levels, as well as that increased gold does help you as far as just continuing to upgrade everything else. The last thing I would prioritize spending your gold on is upgrading your units. Now, I'm not saying upgrading your units is bad. It is quite useful, and these will help you a lot in the game, but they get super expensive to upgrade later on and difficult to stay on top of and keep them all maxed out. Just for reference here, I'm going to just go and throw some into my cavalry unit here, and we're going to be able to see just how quickly I can just run through all of my gold, or at least we'll get to the point where we can get pretty close. So I got it to about my level cap, but I'm essentially out of gold, and now I can't go and upgrade my other units. So you're going to run into that cap regardless. This is even with me going and watching ads after every level to double that gold production, but you're still going to run short. Generally, what I would recommend and what I ended up doing is I just ended up upgrading 2 or 3 of them. So prioritizing like the knight, the archer, and the soldier. I have kind of neglected the mage a bit. It's really up to you as far as what you personally want to prioritize. They are all pretty good if you do upgrade them. But when then actually playing in the game, because if you do end up prioritizing your gold on certain units, make sure you just try and prioritize those unit production buildings in game, because I haven't dumped a lot of gold into my wizard just based on the damage. If you look at the stats of all my other units and then over to the wizard, my wizard's not going to be near as helpful in levels. So if you do end up prioritizing some units, acknowledge it's not going to be very strong in the level and that you're going to kind of have to play around with it. The reason why I really like the village and the skill tree over the unit upgrades is just because the bonuses for the other two, they're a lot more consistent from stage to stage, or in the case of the skill tree just provides those benefits to multiple troops all at once, and then just other things in the game period, which is very helpful. But that skill tree being able to benefit all your different units rather than just having to pick which one to upgrade, that just really makes the skill tree a lot better in my opinion. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions.